Take the bass line out. Jiggle. Let it bump though.
Welcome, Bobcats, to another edition of From the Field to the Fans. I'm your host and sports editor here at the University Star, Odus Evbagharu, and with me, as always, I have my two good buddies with me, Ishmael Johnson and Kirk Jones. How are you guys doing?
It's been a while, man. It feels like longer because I didn't do the show before Wednesday before last, and now spring break. I haven't seen you guys on the show in a while, so it's good to be back.
It's a little empty feeling for that last like 2 days. I was like, man, it should be something I should be doing that.
Good. That's what we're aiming for. We're gonna be talking about some baseball. Boy, was it a hard knock life for them. Them losing to Rice 14-1 Tuesday night. That was not fun. Then softball, Tuesday night, losing to Baylor, but avenging their loss to Baylor in Waco, beating Iowa Wednesday night at home 4-0, so that's pretty impressive. And then we're going to take a little break from Texas State athletics. We'll shout out the women's basketball team making the WBI, and then we're going to talk a little March Madness, see who's closest to that $1 billion that Warren Buffett's throwing out there. But before we get into all of that good stuff, we're going to take one quick break and hear a word from our sponsors.
Standing on the corners popping, to driving some of the hottest cars New Yorkers ever seen, for dropping some of the hottest verses rappers ever heard. From the dope spot with the smoke block, clinging the murder scene. You know me well from nightmares of a lonely cell.
We've done it! Since opening last fall, Vapor Essentials has provided San Marcos with the best in electronic cigarettes. Whether you're kicking the smoking habit or interested in the growing popularity of vaping, there's never been a better time to visit. Vaporize and customize with our ever-expanding inventory. All 100% authentic hardware from brands like Totally Wicked, Halo, and more. We also carry the best quality e-liquid by Texas Select Vapor, with nicotine ranges from 0 to 24. Try before you buy or just kick back at our full-service vaping bar. Our friendly and experienced staff will help you with all your vaping needs. Whether you're new or a familiar face, we'll be happy to provide you with the highest quality of customer service. At Vapor Essentials, we are consumers for consumers. We are your e-cigarette store. Stop by at 1515 Aquarina Springs or call us today at 512-878-8869. 18 and older, we ID.
Hey Bobcats, Otis here. Let's take a minute to talk about the University Bookstore and Fan Shop. These on-campus stores take care of all your Texas State needs, from books and supplies to Bobcat apparel and gifts. And the more you shop, the more these stores can give back to the students and organizations of Texas State. You can find the bookstore at the LBJ Student Center and the Fan Shop at Bobcat Stadium. You can also check them out online at bookstore.txstate.edu. Be sure to mention From the Field to the Fans and the Fan Shop for a 10% discount.
Need cupcakes or cookies for your sweet tooth, or maybe a custom decorated cake for your sorority or fraternity celebration? Pennington's Cakes has you covered. Since 1962, Pennington's Cakes has been providing some of the best tasting desserts in Central Texas. We bake our cakes, cupcakes, and cookies fresh to order with quality ingredients and lots of love and care. No matter the order, Pennington's Cakes will rise to the occasion. Every one of our creations is artfully decorated and memorably presented. Get 10% off your purchase when you show your Texas State ID. We also offer free wedding cake consultations. We're conveniently located at 1662 South I-35, right next to Thad Ziegler Glass. Come by or call us today and join our family of satisfied customers. Our number is 512-396-4059. 512-396-4059.
And we're back here to talk about some Texas State baseball. Talking about Rice, the Rice game. Number 11 Rice came into San Marcos, I guess, looking to definitely, I don't know what you want to call it because it's just speechless right now. Texas State coming off a sweep against UTA and then laying an egg against Rice, losing 14-1 Tuesday night. The one lone run comes in the bottom of the second. Tanner Hill hit a bomb. It landed in the softball field. And if you've ever been to Bobcat Ballpark, you can understand how far that is. But he was able to get down the bottom of the second. But after that, the wheels came undone for Texas State, and they ended up losing by 13 runs.
Yeah, it's not really as much as what Rice did was that they kind of made their own mistakes. I mean, they had a lot of pass balls, two errors, a lot of walks, and the starter Chad Young didn't even go 3 innings. So kind of just a bad game played by Texas State. Not as much as how good Rice played, but Rice, I mean, they did play good, but it's kind of just more what Texas State kind of hurt themselves.
Yeah, Ty Harrington just kind of emptying the bullpen and just throwing everybody at the
We could have pitched on Tuesday.
Probably, I mean, he probably started having fan potluck out there trying to figure out who could. Yeah, might be coming up soon. But it's kind of been his pattern in history, but like recently it's kind of been an alarming pattern. It started with Valpo. I thought Valpo was just kind of like, okay, he's testing to see who goes against Texas, and then maybe who goes against Rice. But the fact that he went this deep against Rice, just kind of like, I don't know, I think he was grasping at straws a little when that 3rd inning when they both hit 4 runs. When they had Rice had 4 runs, I think kind of hit the panic button a little bit and just started pumping out pitchers.
Yeah, Bobcats give up, I believe, a season-high 14 runs on a season-high 12 hits. Mm-hmm. So, those two coming together in one night. Hopefully it's going to be the worst game of the season. Just get that one out of the system. Chad Young, first of all, I was kind of shocked by the start of anyone in the bullpen. I was not expecting him. Lefty, not really a hard thrower. And last night, on Tuesday night, he struggled not being able to get the ball to the plate. It was a rough outing, and the bullpen just not being able to hold their own. Rice has some boys, though, that could play. Their pitcher, I believe, gets 12 strikeouts. Yeah. Bobcats strike out 16 times. These are guys that were swinging the ball really well against UTA, winning 10-5, 7-5. They won a defensive battle 3-1, but were able to swing the bats late. And for them to only get 1 run, strike out 16 times, Ty's got to be worried about the focus of this team right now.
Yeah, and going back to kind of Chad Young, the reason why they pitched him was because they liked the lefty-righty matchup, and Chad Young's a lefty, so they have a lot of righties, so they thought maybe they could get an advantage there. But yeah, just coming off the sweep against UTA, you kind of would have thought they had a little more momentum. Coming back in 2 games, one a walk-off and one into the bottom of the 8th, you kind of would have expected a little more out of the offense, but I don't know. These Tuesday games, they have struggled. I know they're playing good competition, but coming out of the weekend, they haven't played well going into Tuesday since the Valparaiso game. So hopefully Coach Harrington can kind of get his team on the right track next Tuesday.
I think the biggest surprise was that it was at home.
Yeah,
we saw they played against Rice at Rice. They only lost by a run, and they. You kind of figured, okay, they can probably pull an upset. They did it a few years ago when Rice was number 4, and they're. Like we talked about all the time, the team's comfortable at home, but I don't know what happened. The wheels just came completely undone.
Yeah, and it's alarming. Hopefully they pick it back up this weekend against Western Kentucky. They'll play the Hilltoppers, I believe, in Bowling Green,
yeah.
Wherever. They're somewhere in the middle of Kentucky.
Yeah.
Just not very major. The only thing I know is Louisville and Frankfort.
There you Lexington.
Go. Lexington, that's true. Lexington, Concord. Little history lesson there. But they're going to play Western Kentucky regardless this weekend. Western Kentucky's sitting a game behind the Bobcats right now in conference. They go 2-1 in their conference series. Hopefully the Bobcats can, right the ship again and hopefully get it going again.
Yeah, Western Kentucky's number 4 in the Sun Belt in the first. They've only played 3 games, same as Texas State, but they've got some hitters, man. Ryan Church, their first baseman, has 4 home runs, leads the team, 25 hits, leads the team, and I believe a 340 average. But they have some good bats, and they're a good solid team, just like the rest of the Sun Belt is. They can't take this team lightly. They have some good solid pitching too. So
I think they're 8-1 at home.
8-1 at home, yeah.
8-1 at home. So Texas State's going into an environment where Western Kentucky's certainly comfortable.
Texas State's 1-3 on the road.
Yeah. So their catcher Ryan Messick's batting .367 right now. So he, like Tyler, like Kirk.
Yeah.
Like Kirk said, it's just. They have good bats, and Texas State has to be ready to go.
Yeah, I definitely look for the pitching to kind of right the ship for the Bobcats. Austin Williams, Lucas Humple, and Taylor Black. Hopefully they can get back in the swing of things. And then you bring in the closer, Hunter Lemke, who has the most appearances, has finished the most games in the Sun Belt so far this year. So I'm looking for them to get back on the strikeout groove that the pitchers have done this year. And hopefully the Bobcats can bring it home. I look for the Bobcats to possibly take 2 out of 3 in Western Kentucky. I think they got it right the ship, and Ty's not a pleasant person to be around when he's ticked off.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. Trust me, we know. So I look for them to right the ship and take 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I think it all starts kind of with Game 1 on Friday. Taylor Black's going, he's not the normal Friday night starter, but he started last week against UTA. I think it all just kind of comes down to him. Taylor Black is one of their better pitchers, but I kind of want to see how the offense comes out the first game and how he kind of pitches to this good offense. And then I think if they can win that first game, that they may be able to sweep if they can get that first game. I think that would give them the momentum going in, and but I think at least 2 out of 3.
I think 2 out of 3 as well. We've kind of talked about the focus with this team. I think they win the first game. I think the focus kind of goes back to being lax a little bit. They drop the second game, and then for some reason this team just needs some kind of motivation always, and so they'll take the third game. But yeah, 2 out of 3. I'm with you guys.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm going to go back to pitching and them starting off well as well. UTA, they did sweep, but a lot of people bury the fact that UTA scored first in all 3 of those games. It seems a lot of these Bobcat victories are coming from behind, too. A lot of these teams kind of start off early a little bit, so I look for the Bobcats to kind of have jitters a little bit, but get the ship going. A team that did not have jitters Wednesday night, Texas State softball team winning 4-0 against Iowa, avenging the 2-0 loss they had Tuesday night against Baylor. But before we get into softball talk, we're going to take one quick break and hear a word from our sponsor.
We've done it! Since opening last fall, Vapor Essentials has provided San Marcos with the best in electronic cigarettes. Whether you're kicking the smoking habit or interested in the growing popularity of vaping, there's never been a better time to visit. Vaporize and customize with our ever-expanding inventory. All 100% authentic hardware from brands like Totally Wicked, Halo, and more. We also carry the best quality e-liquid by Texas Select Vapor, with nicotine ranges from 0 to 24. Try before you buy or just kick back at our full-service vaping bar. Our friendly and experienced staff will help you with all your vaping needs. Whether you're new or a familiar face, we'll be happy to provide you with the highest quality of customer service. At Vapor Essentials, we are consumers for consumers. We are your e-cigarette store. Stop by at 1515 Aquarina Springs or call us today at 512-878-8869. 18 and older, we ID.
Hey Bobcats, Odus here. Let's take a minute to talk about the University Bookstore and Fan Shop. These on-campus stores take care of all your Texas State needs, from books and supplies to Bobcat apparel and gifts. And the more you shop, the more these stores can give back to the students and organizations of Texas State. You can find the bookstore at the LBJ Student Center and the Fan Shop at Bobcat Stadium. You can also check them out online at bookstore.txstate.edu. Be sure to mention From the Field to the Fans and the Fan Shop for a 10% discount.
Need cupcakes or cookies for your sweet tooth, or maybe a custom decorated cake for your sorority or fraternity celebration? Pennington's Cakes has you covered. Since 1962, Pennington's Cakes has been providing some of the best tasting desserts in Central Texas. We bake our cakes, cupcakes, and cookies fresh to order with quality ingredients and lots of love and care. No matter the order, Pennington's Cakes will rise to the occasion. Every one of our creations is artfully decorated and memorably presented. Get 10% off your purchase when you show your Texas State ID. We also offer free wedding cake consultations. We're conveniently located at 1662 South I-35, right next to Thad Ziegler Glass. Come by or call us today and join our family of satisfied customers. Our number is 512-396-4059. 512-396-4059.
And we're back for Ishmael Johnson, Kirk Jones. I'm Odus Evbagharu, and we're going to talk a little softball here. Softball Tuesday night loses to Baylor 2-0. They get one hit off Baylor Bears pitcher Whitney Cannon. And Ricky Woodard had a very interesting quote about Whitney Cannon. She said she pitched the best game she's ever seen. Now, for those of you that follow Bobcat sports, Ricky's been here 13, 14 years now. She's seen All-Americans. She's seen All-Conference, All-Regions. She's seen them all. For her to say that about another team's pitcher, and for her to just say that in general, really impressed me. So that tells you that I think the Bobcats did compete Tuesday night. They just faced a really strong pitcher. And so that's good for them. They lose 11-1. in Mississippi to Baylor. Come back, go to Waco, only lose 2-0. I think it's very solid. But they come back Wednesday night, beat Iowa 4-0, who they lost to last year to open the season 5-4. Beat them 4-0. Rain House makes her 9th straight start. She gets the 8th complete game shutout of the season. The Bobcats get their 18th win of the season, which equals the amount they had last year. So just think about the parallels in that. And Rain picks up win number 15. She threw a 2-hit shutout. If the Bobcats can only stay consistent, I feel like with this softball team, I think College World Series might be calling their name if they can squeak out of the Sun Belt.
Yeah, they have their ace. They have their ace Rainhausen at 9th straight start. We'll see how if fatigue kind of gets there, but softball is a little different than baseball. She can pitch 9 straight games, as clearly as she's been doing that. I believe she only had 3 strikeouts against Baylor. She had 7 against Iowa Wednesday night. So she's. I guess fatigue really isn't getting to her. The bats just kind of caught up this game as well, and they gave her some backup, so the whole game wasn't on her. Yeah, and like you said, 9 straight start. That's pretty incredible. I know it's softball, but still, that's to go that many games straight. You would think that they would have a serviceable number 2 pitcher, which I think they eventually probably need to find. So, congratulations to her for right now moving 15 wins now. That's a pretty solid number so far. She got some offense this time. 8 hits and a home run by Katie Dory. I mean, definitely a different kind of game from Baylor. Yeah, both Ricky and Rain have both said, they like the ball in her hands. Rain wants it. She wants to be that go-to woman, as as so to speak. And so that's really interesting. I just think with the whole pitching thing, straight games, I just think mentally, I don't think so much the physical aspect of it, because softball is just a different motion and different thing there. But I think mentally, it starts to grind on you and weigh on you a little bit. So we'll see where she's at come late, in conference schedule. But it's really impressive to see her do that. It's really cool to see the Bobcats get 18 wins, as much as they did last year. So that's really good. And they're going to play Tech this weekend. I know they lost both matchups to Tech last year. So they're going to go 3-game series. And it's going to be non-conference week for the Bobcats, pretty much. Get to play some opponents outside of the conference. So that's always good to see different competition. Yeah, especially, Big 12 team, it's always good to, they play them in baseball and football, so now it's good to see them, carry that over to softball as well. And if I'm not mistaken, Texas Tech's pretty good, too. They won like 12 in a row. And I know, they're solid competition, so you're not going to get better unless you play the best, so. 23-9 Tech is right now, 9-1. What's up with the Bobcats? Both the softball and baseball going very good home teams. But yeah, Kirk said I believe they dropped one, I believe to UNT. Yeah. But they were on a 12-game win streak. So they have some momentum and possibly some anger behind that first loss, ending that streak. So it's gonna be fun to see Texas State go to Lubbock. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a 3-game series. I think they probably take 2 out of 3. I don't know if you guys agree with that. I think. I don't know. Who are they going to pitch in the other 2? I think that's true. I'm going to say they take 1 out of 3. I hate to be negative, but the other 2 pitchers. Kaylee Garner's good, but how? I don't know. I think the bats warming up today might bring some momentum. 2-3. I think maybe the second or third. I think they win the first game. I think they'll go up there with a lot of energy. I think they sneak by the 3rd game. I think maybe they'll get a late hit or something from Kelly Baker, Tamisha North, maybe Courtney Coral, Kendall Wiley, some of the women that are top of the lineup. See if they can sneak out. But I do think they'll be able to get 2 out of 3. Yeah, I can see them sneaking by it. Plus, it's good Big 12 competition before they play the big dogs in Austin. Before they play the Longhorns. So we will see. But another team that kind of was they were kind of on a roller coaster for a lot of this year, but they kind of brought it back, and they end up making a postseason tournament. It's not the NCAA, it's not the Women's NIT, but it is the Women's Basketball Invitational, the WBI, so they get to play in the postseason. It's the Texas State women's basketball team.
They will play SFA in the first round, and so we're definitely going to talk about that a little bit and hit up March Madness and filling out our bracket here at From the Field to the Fans. But before we do that, we're going to take our final break and hear a word from our sponsors.
I float for chicks wishing they ain't have to strip to pay tuition. I see your vision, mama. I put my money on the long shots. All my ballers that's born the clock. No one will be on top whether I perform or not. I went from lukewarm to hot.
We've done it! Since opening last fall, Vapor Essentials has provided San Marcos with the best in electronic cigarettes. Whether you're kicking the smoking habit or interested in the growing popularity of vaping, there's never been a better time to visit. Vaporize and customize with our ever-expanding inventory. All 100% authentic hardware from brands like Totally Wicked, Halo, and more. We also carry the best quality e-liquid by Texas Select Vapor, with nicotine ranges from 0 to 24. Try before you buy or just kick back at our full-service vaping bar. Our friendly and experienced staff will help you with all your vaping needs. Whether you're new or a familiar face, we'll be happy to provide you with the highest quality of customer service. At Vapor Essentials, we are consumers for consumers. We are your e-cigarette store. Stop by at 1515 Aquarina Springs or call us today at 512-878-8869. 18 and older, we ID.
Hey Bobcats, Odus here. Let's take a minute to talk about the University Bookstore and Fan Shop. These on-campus stores take care of all your Texas State needs, from books and supplies to Bobcat apparel and gifts. And the more you shop, the more these stores can give back to the students and organizations of Texas State. You can find the bookstore at the LBJ Student Center and the Fan Shop at Bobcat Stadium. You can also check them out online at bookstore.txstate.edu. Be sure to mention From the Field to the Fans and the Fan Shop for a 10% discount.
Need cupcakes or cookies for your sweet tooth, or maybe a custom decorated cake for your sorority or fraternity celebration? Pennington's Cakes has you covered. Since 1962, Pennington's Cakes has been providing some of the best tasting desserts in Central Texas. We bake our cakes, cupcakes, and cookies fresh to order with quality ingredients and lots of love and care. No matter the order, Pennington's Cakes will rise to the occasion. Every one of our creations is artfully decorated and memorably presented. Get 10% off your purchase when you show your Texas State ID. We also offer free wedding cake consultations. We're conveniently located at 1662 South I-35, right next to Thad Ziegler Glass. Come by or call us today and join our family of satisfied customers. Our number is 512-396-4059. 512-396-4059.
And we're back. March Madness and the hoopla that comes with it is back. We're going to give a quick shout out to the women's basketball. They're going to play in WBI. They're going to play, I believe, Stephen F. Austin in the first round. And Kurt kind of got a quick breakdown of what to expect in the tournament.
Well, Texas State's the number 5 seed, and Stephen Austin's, of course, the 4 seed, and they play at the higher seeds, the host team, so they'll play in Nacogdoches.
Yeah.
So the number 1 seed in the West region is Grand Canyon. They'll play the number 8 seed Boise State on to Thursday at 7. Of course, Stephen F. Austin and Texas State play tomorrow as well, at Thursday as well. College of Charleston will play USC Upstate. They're the College of Charleston's number 2 seed. Northern Kentucky will play on the runner-up in East State. They played Detroit and lost to Detroit last year. In the East region, Eastern Michigan will play Evansville. Eastern Michigan is the number 1 seed in the East region. UIC will play IPFW. And Bucknell will play Maine. Bucknell's number 2 seed. And Bryant will play Fairfield. They play tomorrow or Thursday as well.
Evansville, former team of senior guard Kalen Martins. That's pretty interesting. McNeese State being the runner-up. And this WBI has had some interesting teams in the past. They had Detroit. Louisville, who was a national runner-up last year, they won this tournament and played in it as well. So
it's in its 5th year?
Fifth
season.
Season. So good luck to the women. I know the winner of Grand Canyon Boise State is who Texas State would play if they win. If Grand Canyon wins, Texas State goes to Phoenix and plays Grand Canyon there. But if Boise State somehow pulls the upset, they will play Texas State here on Monday. So that's really interesting, and hopefully the Bobcats can make a really good showing. I can kind of see them making a run and get past SFA, so that'll be very interesting. Tournament that the men is not in, and that we're not talking about the NIT or the CBI.
Just under the bus, just done.
About the big NCAA tournament. How about March Madness a little bit? Got some interesting matchups. They've had the play-in games. Albany beat Mount St. Mary's. The first play-in game. I'm with Ish. I refuse to call it the tournament because
the first four.
The first four is what they're calling it.
If my bracket doesn't make it if the bracket doesn't make me fill it out, it's not in the tournament.
It's not in the tournament. So NC State beat Xavier. Iowa and Tennessee, they're going, and I forgot the other play-in game. Oh, Cal Poly and Texas Southern. Cal Poly pull it off, and they will play, I believe, Wichita State in the first round. But, man, okay, I got to do this.
Oh.
Louisville being the number 4 seed, I'm not letting it go. I know it's too late. It's already in the past. It should not be the number 4 seed. It's ridiculous. They should not be the 4 seed. They won the regular season title. They shared it. They won the postseason title, and they were destroying everybody. They're the number 4 seed. So I think they're going to be playing with a chip on their shoulder throughout the whole throughout the tournament. You have Michigan State. I think they're kind of underseeded as well a little bit. I think Iowa State's underseeded too at the 3. The seeding, I don't want to say it screwed a lot of people, but I think this is the perfect year for Warren Buffett to offer that $1 billion
because it's nothing. Like
I don't see it happening.
Yeah, it's there's no perfect, like you can't. I don't know. I want to meet the person that does the perfect bracket because they must have been completely guessing about everything.
They need to tell me who's. They need to tell me what's going to go on in the future. Yeah. If they can predict what's going to happen with this bracket, because that's going to be really, really interesting.
Yeah, I have no idea because we talked about Louisville. They're a 4 seed, but they're chalk favorites against every single team in that region. Wichita State, Michigan, Kentucky. Not Kentucky, but let's see, 1, 2, 3. Who is that? Wichita State, Michigan, Duke.
Duke
Duke's
a 3 seed in that.
Louisville's
region.
favorites against all those teams. Yeah. I don't see how that's a 4 seed. To me, that's screaming 1 seed, at worst 2 seed. But I mean, they could not give Wichita State the 1 seed because they went undefeated. But oh man, this is gonna be a lot of fun this year because it's completely like random. Like every year it's random, but this year just seems 10 times that.
Yeah, definitely. I think what kind of messed up was Wichita State. No one expected them. I mean, you go on the run they did, so they kind of they got a number 1 seed. So I don't know. I agree Louisville's underseeded, but I kind of thought Kentucky was underseeded too.
At the 8.
Yeah, I mean Oklahoma State was 8 in the Big 12, and they got a 9 seed.
Yeah, that's true.
And
that's true.
I think Kentucky. I mean, they were in the SEC championship game. They barely lost to Florida. So I think they should have been at least like a 5 seed or something. I mean, they're too talented to be an 8 seed. I think they should have. They are definitely underseeded a little bit. So I kind of look for maybe that Kentucky team to kind of come out and maybe surprise some people and go to maybe the Elite 8, at least maybe the Sweet 16. But I definitely kind of see a surprise team in them.
So before we go, Elite 8, Final 4, National Championship, and National Champion, who you guys look at to kind of be the Cinderellas? Because I'm looking at Nebraska at 11. I think they might make a run. I like SFA. I think, we went in those you go on long streaks like that. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a fluke. I think, you play who is on the schedule.
They played some good teams.
And so, you got to play. Who else? Harvard. I can see Harvard making a run. I mean, that's what I got so far.
All right, I got my upset, my Cinderella. I got him in the Sweet 16. Lafayette. Sunbelt pride.
Sunbelt.
But I really think they have when you stack them up against the rest of the teams in their region, they have the 4th best player like in the conference. Because I mean, they're in the conference with Arizona, so Aaron Gordon, Marcus Smart, and Doug McDermott. Alfred Payton's right behind those guys. All those guys are going to be first-round picks in the NBA draft. I think Lafayette pulls the upset over Creighton and Doug McDermott in the first round, and I got them winning their next game as well, whoever they play. I got them advancing to the Sweet 16.
They would play Nebraska or Baylor.
I got them going to the Sweet 16, beating either of those teams. But yeah, I'm actually calling that an upset lock. because I don't usually do that. Usually I'm just like, oh, pencil that in. No, I penned it in. Lafayette's going to beat Creighton.
My upset, I have all the way going to the Final Four, and that's – I don't know if you can say upset. I got Oklahoma State.
Okay.
I think Oklahoma State is – Marcus Smart, I think, is just – he took that suspension and just ran with it. I think that was the best thing that ever happened in this game, honestly. I mean, his assists have gone up. He's playing way better defense. I think they can do it, man. They were number 4, I think, at as high as 4 during the regular season.
Before they kind of
they lost like 7 straight, and I mean, they lost 7 straight and still made the tournament. So, I mean, that's got to say something about the team and how resilient they are. So, I have Oklahoma State going all the way to the Final Four.
Yeah, I think Harvard, you can put them in there too as well. For me, going to Elite 8, I got Florida, Syracuse in the South region, Michigan State, Iowa State in the East. In the Midwest, I have Louisville, Duke, and in the West, I have Arizona, Wisconsin. Then Florida, Syracuse, I got Florida going to the Final Four, Michigan State going to the Final Four, Louisville going to the Final Four, and Arizona going to the Final Four. Then it's going to be the pupil and the teacher. I think it's going to be Billy Donovan, Florida Gators, and Rick Pitino, Louisville, and then I think Pitino pulls it out and gets back-to-back national championships. Wow. I think another 4 seed does it again. And an interesting fact is that since 2010, the seed that's gone to the Final Four the most are 4 seeds.
Wow.
Yeah, and number 4 seeds to me usually are underseeded, so that's going to be really interesting. Another thing, what's cool is that I think on Sports Nation they did a thing where they were trying to break down who would win, and it was like between Virginia and Duke and all this other stuff because they try to break it down.
Yeah.
But an interesting thing is that the last 10 champions have wore red or blue.
Really?
What?
Yeah, last 10 defending champions either wore red and blue. So Wichita State, sorry.
Yeah, yellow's not in the picture there.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got to change my pick according to that. No, but my Elite 8, I have Florida and Syracuse out of the South. That game could also not reach more than 50 points combined. Yeah. I'm convinced
they'd bring back basketball
in
50 years.
Yeah, especially the short shorts. And
take away the 3-point line because nobody's making anything. But I have Virginia and Villanova coming out of the East, Arizona, Wisconsin coming out of the West. I think that's a pen right there. The West, those 2 teams are just far and away the best teams in that division or that region. And I have Kentucky and Duke coming out of the Midwest. My Final Four is Florida, Virginia, Arizona, and Kentucky. And my championship game is Virginia and Kentucky, and I got Virginia taking it all. I'm a fan of their defense. I'm a fan of that defense, the number 1 defense in a tough conference like the ACC. I think Virginia gets it done, caps off the dream season because nobody had them as a number 1 seed or even winning the ACC.
I now them as a 4 seed.
Yeah.
There you go. So I got them capping off the dream season.
They lost to some bad teams earlier in the season.
Tennessee beat them by 35 points.
They did, and so that for them to pull it around, take the ACC title outright, ACC title, I can't be mad at that pick.
Yeah. Well, in my Elite 8 in the South, I got Florida. Who else I got?
Syracuse,
Florida, and Ohio State. Yeah, I just think Syracuse is just the wheels have come off the wagon, and I know the 2-3 zone and people don't know how to defend it, but I just think that they've lost hope. They were a number 1 seed probably 2 weeks ago, and then they just totally lost it. So I think that Ohio State will beat them, and then I have Michigan State against Iowa State, Wisconsin against Oklahoma State. And Midwest, I have Louisville against who was it?
Duke, Michigan.
Not Duke. Duke and Michigan.
Okay.
I mean, not Duke and Michigan. Louisville and Michigan.
Okay.
And then I have Louisville beating. I got Louisville, Oklahoma State, Florida, and Iowa State. My Final Four. And I got Florida and Louisville, and I got Florida taking it. So I got kind of some under.
The chomp.
I got Iowa State and Oklahoma State. I don't think. I just want to believe in Oklahoma State so bad. I just think they can do it. So I got them in the Final Four.
I agree with you with Oklahoma State. Is that the suspension did wonders for Marcus Smart because he's more now of a distributor. He's not chunking the ball as much, and he's not relying on his jump shot. He's going straight to the hole, which is the strength of his game. With 3 different brackets, ain't nobody winning $1 billion.
Yeah.
And I forgot, was it you that was saying that Nate Silver, I think, came out with the thing that the odds of you winning it is like 1.5 billion to 1 or something like that?
It wasn't me. It was I can't remember. It was early today, but I remember that stat. Yeah. It was completely ridiculous.
Like there's a 1.5 billion.
The 14 like more than the lottery. It's like you're more likely to hit the lottery than win the bracket outright.
I don't care. I'm entering. Warren
Yeah,
Buffett. At worst, I don't win
I'm
$1
trying
billion.
to find different households that I can enter this bracket for. One address isn't enough. But March Madness, it's crazy. The craziness that comes with it. People have pools at work. People have pools online. You're trying to win new cars. You're trying to win $1 billion. My mom knows nothing about college basketball. Called me and said, you need to enter a bracket. So, $1 billion can change a lot of people's lives. But there's never been a perfect bracket. And the other thing, too, is that a number 1 seed has yet to lose. And Florida will play Albany. Arizona will play Weber State. Wichita State will play Cal Poly now. And the other one will be Virginia versus Coastal Carolina. So I don't like the chances this year.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting.
It will. Can't wait.
We're gonna see a new. I don't think we'll see a new champion, a new team, because they'll change the players and whatnot. But I think Louisville will take it. I just think Rick Pitino, him and Tom Izzo, those two guys, when it comes to March, they know something the rest of other people don't know.
Very true.
And another fun fact too. One quick fun fact before we go to our final thoughts is the West region. There's only one coach in the West region that's actually ever made it to the Final Four. You guys guess who it is?
In the West region, let's see.
In the West region.
San Diego State.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Steve Fisher.
Yeah, Steve
Really?
Fisher went to the
wow.
Final Four
Fab Five.
with
I completely
Michigan,
forgot Steve
and he
Fisher.
won
Yeah.
in 1989.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget the coach. I forgot what happened to the original coach, but Steve Fisher
He
took
left
that
and he
team,
took over.
beat Seton Hall in 1989, then took the Fab Five to 2 straight Final Fours. So
Yeah.
Steve Fisher, only coach in that West region. So I got
dropping
them.
knowledge, Kirk.
Yeah.
Dropping
So
trivia.
if you're gonna be the host, you got to be fun with it. So you guys got any final thoughts?
Not really. I just hope Lafayette goes out, represents the Sun Belt very well, beats Dougie Fresh in the first round, pulls the upset.
My Pokies, man. I want them to go all the way. I want them.
Now it's his team.
Yeah, that's
now
my
it's his
team
Pokies.
now. I've been behind them. I like Marcus Smart, and I've been behind him the whole season. So I really hope they can pull it off and go to the Final Four.
Final thought. Let the madness begin.
Yeah.
Let the madness begin.
I'm excited.
Yeah. And I'm just going to end it at that. So for Ishmael Johnson, Kirk Jones, I am your host and sports editor here at the University Star, Odus Evbagharu. And like I always say, we'll see you next time. Bye.